Hey, welcome back, guys and girls. I'm here with Tom. We're at CSI headquarters. What I want to talk about today, because as I've said in many videos, is I want to dissect his line, his formulation line, and let you know, like, okay, here's the talking points, but that's not enough for me as a person. I want to know, like, okay, what does that mean? Is that legitimate or is that hype? Because every bottle I get of polish or compound or quick detailer or wax, it's like all this hype. It's like, well, what's hype and what's legit? So one of the things I wanted to talk about is anti-static, because I will see on bottles it'll say true anti-static formulation, something like that. So Tom, is that legit? Can you actually formulate something that can be labeled as anti-static? And let me set up a little additional context for this, because guys will talk about, for example, I just shot a video on detailing an engine, and I like an engine that's dressed. Now, granted, I drive a sports car. It's not an off-road vehicle, so I get that if you drive an off-road vehicle, you're like, oh, I don't want dirt and dust in my engine, even though it's gonna get there no matter what you do. So I get that element, but I love a freshly detailed and dressed engine. When I pop my hood, I want to wet myself because my engine looks so bitchin'. So now the engine on my M4 looks so bitchin', and I dressed it. But guys will talk about how, like, oh, once you put dressing on your engine, it's going to attract dirt. So that's another variable of anti-static. It's like, okay, when I apply a dressing, is it literally going to now pull the dirt particles out of the air and attract it to the surface? Because that's what static electricity will do, is it will at a level pull particles out of the air and draw it to the surface. Because what I ask them is like, okay, is that really what's happening? Or have you just now created such a clean canvas and an enhanced canvas with dressing, now the dirt just shows better than it did before? Or is it literally creating a static charge that's pulling dirt particles out of the air? So that's the setup. You run with it. You tell us based on you as a formulator.
So obviously, you know, I'm now a formulator. In the last 20 years, I've become a formulator because I got into this business. But as you know I've told you, and most of your viewers probably know this, I owned a body shop. So in the body shop world, it's about delivering a vehicle. If I deliver that vehicle with wax on it, or I deliver that vehicle with no wax on it, what is going to be the best way to not induce any dust? Because I don't even want to get into the idea of static yet, because in my brain I need to formulate how I got to anti-static. And I hope I'm explaining that, because I'm trying to explain my mindset.
Right.
Why am I interested in anti-static? And as you know, all CSI products are anti-static formulated. So They have a formula to them that induces the product being anti-static. And we've talked about eyeglasses. I'm going to bring up my Oakleys again. What if my Oakleys had a wax film on them? One, they're going to be hard to see out of, because now I'm looking through some kind of greasy film. Or they were 100% clean. Which one is going to attract less dust? Well, of course, the one with nothing on them.
Perfectly clean.
Yeah, perfectly clean. But in the car world, being perfectly clean would normally mean that I'm going to have exposed scratches, things that aren't covered up, and the wax and quick detailer and all those products help to cover that. But what if we didn't have to cover as much stuff? And that's where the whole idea of CSI gets to. If we did the polishing properly, we don't have to put on all the cover-up crazy things.
None of this Band-Aids.
Yeah, none of this Band-Aid stuff, which all causes more dust to accumulate because you've got more of a greasy film. Our new tire lotion compared to Armor All. Which one's greasier? Well, I can tell you.
Armor All.
Armor All's a lot greasier. Now, that's just the way they make it.
Yes.
That's not what I want. And if
not in the body shop
I'm not
world.
trying to, why am I trying to, how does that help me in the body shop world to grease up my tires? It doesn't help me, but that was, there was a time when that was the only thing that was there, so we put it on the tires. And then the customers, just all the issues you have with greasy products. So when we could get to non-greasy, i.e. the whole CSI line, it became a lot cleaner. And all these become bullet points on why our product is better overall. Because we thought about that stuff.
Let's just clarify that, because in your head it's not better, it's just the best.
There is no better. There's no higher level.
So let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
In your head, it's like it is the best.
And obviously I put myself out there to be challenged.
Whether they agree with that or not, and you're open for challenging at every level anyways.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bring it on, guys. Let's go with the challenge.
I mean, if it's buffing
so let's just clarify
and,
the best. Let's keep it real.
I definitely believe that CSI products are absolutely the best on the market.
Yes.
What does that say? Does that say that I want to do this when I get off work? No, I don't want nothing to do with that. I want to go ride my bicycle.
Right, and I want to go to the gym.
Go to the gym. I mean, I'm not interested in debating whether, let's go to the shop, let's, use our products, and who's going to win?
Let's set up the metrics as to the test.
Yeah.
And let's just see who wins.
Yeah, let's just see who wins.
That's simple.
Yeah, I believe we win.
Yeah.
I absolutely, positively, we win the Formula One of waxing and polishing every single time. It's not even debatable. It's,
well, it won in my world.
Yeah, I know.
And then that's where I say is, I put my money where my mouth is.
That's right.
It's like, I didn't come to you and say, hey, I think your product's pretty darn good. Why don't you bring me on board and pay me or something? It's like, no, I put my money where my mouth is because I was convinced. It's like, yeah, it is the best. And this is how I define the best. Yeah. It helps me. One of the reasons I define it as the best is because it helps me become more profitable. Show me a detailer, a professional detailer that would not like to be more profitable.
That's right.
Because if you answer no, there's a problem. Okay, because that's not a business owner. No. That's a hobby.
Yeah.
I'm a business owner.
Yeah.
I just happen to love what I do as a business.
Yeah.
So anti-static.
And I love making a profit as a business owner.
Yes. I want to be as
at the end of the day
as possible.
It's got to have a purpose. So when you go into that mindset of what you're truly looking for, I'm looking for the cleanest surface. Now, in the body shop industry, when we were using a compound to polish and a glaze, I want to use the cleanest glaze. Which, how do I find that? I want to find the.
That's almost a contradiction, really, in many ways.
I was always looking for it. I was always looking for it, and we used. We pretty much had a system that we would use, but all of it had some buildup of oil or whatever they left behind. Again, I wasn't a formulator at that time. I was just using what was formulated for me. And even though our paint jobs were very expensive and cost was not, I didn't care if something cost $20 a quart or 40 or 50 or who cares? I'm getting paid. I'll bill the customer for it, and I just want whatever they say is the best. All of them had an issue. Every single one of those. None of them answered the problem, and not one of them. Some did a little bit better than others, but none of them truly answered that problem. Static electricity, dust collection would be definitely, when we would sit down in Roundhouse and, the powers that be inside of CSI at the time, which basically, the big money, that was, okay, Tom, tell us what bothers you. Slow down.
What are your pressure points?
Tell me what bothers you. and I would go off on these things that would bother. Okay, we need to fix that. And then they would talk to the chemist. Okay, do you have an answer? No, but we can research that. We can look at why that's happening.
Yeah.
And the chemist didn't know why this was happening.
They didn't even know to ask the question to solve the problem, because it wasn't their world.
It wasn't.
Which goes back to my point, is that all these companies that are producing polishes and compounds and waxes, they're not living the world as a detailer. They're just trying to live the world of making a profit. Big difference.
Yeah,
they're not even asking the right questions that, as a detailer, are legitimate problems.
Yeah. So, you know, when we did look at these, you call them pressure points, and they were, because they still rile me up. I would say if you put a blood pressure test on me right now, you would see my blood pressure going up, because these things were so frustrating.
Yes.
But the cool thing is, we have a business now today because of these pressure points.
Right.
And all we have to do is continue to be cutting edge. Yeah, educate and be cutting edge on, you know, how we're developing, and just, you know, watch what we're doing, and continue to really answer a problem, you know. And I hope we are receptive to your audience that's watching these things, like, hey, I've got this problem.
Yeah.
How do you fix that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know, but let's look at that, you know.
So to clarify, anti-static, when I see it on, let's rewind, Darren, let's say 10 years ago, before I had the chance to sit with you face to face, because that's one of the cool things that you answer in my world, is that, because I have actually talked with the presidents, the CEOs, chief marketing officer of some of these really big companies. And I'm asking them these questions, but they don't have an answer for me. But now not only do I have access to the guy that actually formulated the products, but you actually have an answer for me. So I can say, like, hey, Tom, this new product says anti-static formulation. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, Jack-Off-Stein. Like, that's just another way to separate from my money. But you're telling me it's like, no, that's legit, Darren.
It's legit.
Like, you can actually formulate a product that will, so I don't remember how you worded it before. So it's not that you want to create a product that creates static electricity, because whenever you rub a surface, that's a natural universal byproduct, is that it creates static electricity. Yeah. So it will literally draw particles in the air, and it will attach to that surface because of the positive, negative, what do they call it? Ions.
So whenever you agitate the ions,
mechanically
and
touch something.
Remember being kids on shag carpet, let's drag our feet, and then touch our brothers or sisters.
Just
zap them. Zap them as much, and especially if it's really dry. The humidity is really low. When humidity is really low,
part of the point, is it not? The formulation, which is humidity, water.
Yep. So the idea isn't to, you know, nobody would say, I want to add static charges to a product. Why would you want to do that? But I want to reduce the amount of static that's in the surface. Yeah, created, or the ability to create. Yeah. So if we can eliminate that static from even happening, that would be better. That would be the best. Because if I wax a car and I let it sit for 6 months, and then I go get in my car, oh, we're going to do a car show today. I go to get in my dust bowl, you know, because now every dust bowl that was in my garage is now on my car, because my car is all greasy, and it's, what a mess. Now I got to call the detailer before I can go out this morning, you know, because I don't want to wax my car.
Which in my world, I just call that job security. I want that to happen, because Johnny Customer is going to have to call me out again. But now,
in the body shop world, I don't ever want to see a car that's wrecked again, unless he wrecks it again. You know, in the restoration world, I'm never going to see that car again. I mean, I don't want to ever see that car again, because it's going to be a problem. These people marry their cars. So if I see a restoration back in my shop, it's normally my problem. And I got to fix it for free. But in the car world that we're doing repairs on, I never want to see that car unless he wrecks it again. Oh yeah, come back in my shop.
It's kind of like after we detail a car at someone's house, and the kids come running out, and then as I call him, Johnny customer, who's actually paying the bill, who owns the car, and is the father of the offspring that are now quickly approaching the freshly detailed car, and I say, hey kids, come on in, because you're what I call job security. So the car is freshly detailed, come drag your food, get your fingerprints all over it, and the customer's like, no, don't touch it. It's like, hey man, that's job security. So kids, do your job, because your dad's gonna have to call me back out in a week.
Yeah. They just had spaghetti, it's all in their hands.
The kids are like dogs. It's like they can't not touch every possible surface in the car.
Yeah.
So you can have your product line, every one of it, is formulated to be anti-static.
Yes.
So is there any kind of science that you could throw out there without, because there is, certain secrets, I get it. Like there is.
That is definitely, the biggest chemistry side to all CSI products, not just the polish, but the quick detailer, the wax, the tire dressing, all of them have the same base properties to induce anti-static
properties. How about that?
Yeah. So
okay.
I want
so it is
them to
legit.
do that.
It is legit.
Absolutely.
So now whether a company has the integrity to actually formulate that into their product is a different video for a different time.
Yeah.
But that's where I come full circle, which is now I actually have the source. I can clarify at the source. I can clarify every level of that if I wanted to. It's like, okay, Tom, I want to see the raw ingredient that goes in that. I want to see how it's being blended. I want to see where it's being blended. I want to see how it's packaged. I can do that at this level. These other presidents, CEOs, it's like, that ain't going to happen, Darren. It's like, well, why not? You got something to hide? No, I'm not saying that. It's just that ain't going to happen. It's just like, well, I want that to happen. I want to verify with my own eyes, my ears, my sense of touch, whatever. I want to see that happen. That's what's cool is I can do that with you.
Yes, you can.
So you're the formulator. I have access to behind the scenes stuff. The inner sanctums of CSI.
Yeah.
So that's one of the cool things. So is there anything else you want to add to anti-static? Because I want to do some props, which will be a video for a different time.
Yeah.
But just to clarify, so yes, it's legit. All your what you call your base formula that everything else branches off of is formulated that way with anti-static properties.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So now, word from the source. We'll end there. By all means, I want to know from you guys, is there anyone out there, which I'm pretty certain there is, some other critical thinkers out there, have you ever questioned that specifically yourself? Like, okay, this new product, it says it's anti-static. Is that really legit? And what are your thoughts about, like, okay, I'm going to, and that's one of many examples, like, okay, I put tire dressing on my tires or my engine. Is it really going to create this magnetic charge, and is it really going to attract dirt? Kind of like guys will say, oh, once you shampoo your floor mats, it's going to attract dirt. It's like, no, guys, it's not going to attract dirt unless you mean anytime you rub something, it's going to create static electricity, which is true. But you're going to shampoo your carpet, and guess what? It's going to get dirty just like it did the first time before you shampooed it. It doesn't mean that it's now it's going to attract more dirt. It just means it's going to continue to get dirty because in life there's dirt everywhere you go. On the ground, in the air, it's just a dirty world. So it doesn't mean that it's going to attract the dirt. So that's just one of the things that just like spins my head out of control. And it doesn't mean that there's not products that perhaps could do that because it leaves a sticky residue or a greasy residue, but to me that's a different topic. That's a different video. Okay, I think I've clarified enough. We'll stop there. I want to hear those comments. Like literally stop the video, take the time to get on your keyboard and leave me those comments. Sean behind the scene today, Blue Tech Mobile Detailing. You can also check out his channel on YouTube. He does my intel. He's my gatekeeper. He's going to go in and he's going to have the ability to read some of your comments and come back and give me some feedback, which then we could possibly do future videos on. So with that said, give it a thumbs up, get on your little keyboard, give me those comments. All right, we'll end there. Thank you guys, and we will see you guys on the next video.